musical acoustics, electrical engineering stuff, furniture repair, and hammers for dealing with customers. Yeah. I'm Celso Pinto, I'm 43 years old. I was born in Paris and I lived most of my life in a small town nearby called Penafiel. I was always the curious type of guy as a child, dismantling my toys, as many would or did. And I didn't enjoy music up until I was 14. I used to see my older sister listening to music with their earbuds on, listening to techno, and I thought it was awful. So that's why I didn't like music. But then she upgraded sort of to other types of music, which I soon learned to enjoy. And then she had a boyfriend who was a bass player, which was a pretty crucial figure in my life and my career, because he was interested in how instruments were made and built. And soon after, I started taking guitars apart. So I pretty much started playing guitar at the same time as I started fixing them for other people. So I was 14 by that time. And I was also lucky enough to be friends with the guy that had owned a recording studio in that small city that didn't even have a musical instrument shop, but we had a recording studio. So I spent most of my weekends there learning about mixing consoles, ADAT machines, effects processing, and the like. And it was thanks to him that trusted me with the very first guitar that I fixed. He just turned to me and asked, well, can you fix this for me? And as any irresponsible teenager would, I said, sure. And I did, or tried. Eventually, I don't think I messed up an awful lot, and never stopped ever since. So I started charging people who would come to me to, just swap strings and get their instruments really nice and clean as best as I could. So I had been self-taught from 96 to 2009. And that's where I really started feeling a pressure. I felt like I was learning too much from every single instrument I was working on. So I wasn't really feeling comfortable at all. So I decided to sell my guitar amp, sold my car to my parents, and traveled to the US, where I studied musical instrument making and repairing in Brian Gallup's School of Luthier. And I spent there a nice stint. That was, crucial to my development as well, both in terms of my technical ability, but especially in terms of the way I see my professional activity as a business, as it should, and never stopped ever since. So, nowadays I haven't been counting, but it's been like 14,000 instruments under the belt. I've done many things for many customers, learning every day, and I'm a happy guy. While I was studying in the US, I got a call from the executive producer here at Casa da Música, because there was a Spanish artist called Pachi Andion who was going to be playing in Casa de Música and needed a stage tech for to look after his guitars. So I went there and it went fine. I took my little bench and my suitcase stuffed with tools, and it was a fine gig, paid well. And soon after, I got another call from the same guy, and I learned that Lee Ronaldo was coming to town, playing Casa de Música as well. And, you know, I learned a few things from my very first gig as a stage guitar tech. And we did sound check. And also there was another thing that was interesting, is that Lee Ronaldo was doing an acoustic show, and he needed backline equipment. So there was like 6 or 7 acoustic guitars on stage, and it was not easy to find good quality instruments around. So I took one of my own, the very first one that I built, kind of like a Martin OM shaped guitar. He liked it a lot. And by the time we were done with sound check, he told me that he was going to start promoting his solo work with his own band, and asked me if I was interested in, traveling as his guitar tech. And I told him, well, I'm pretty much the lab rat, but I'm not stupid. I don't think I'm too stupid. So I'm interested. Tell me more. Yeah, this was in 2011, and by 2012 we were touring Europe, and pretty much, every single place that we could play in, mostly Europe. And I learned a lot. But yeah, that's how it happened. It was pretty nerve-wracking in the beginning because I didn't have a lot of experience, and because tend to be pretty rigorous in terms of specs and looking after things. And I didn't know that when people are on the road, there's not a lot of time, and there's a lot of sleep deprivation, not a lot of time to feed oneself properly as well. So it was challenging on many aspects. But in terms of the instruments, there were no spares, and Lee is an aggressive player, so he's going to be breaking strings all the time. So the other thing is that the tunings, every single instrument has his own specific tuning, and they're not similar by any means. They're radically different. And the first thing that I did is just calculate and do the math for all tunings and the best or ideal string gauges. But they were meant to be compatible, for retuning or whatever. So there was a compromise that was not easy. So let's say if Lee was on stage playing a song, I would just assume that he was going to break a string. So I would grab one of the other guitars, string it up and set it up. And then he would not break a string, and it will be like that. And once he discovered that I was doing that, because I would just never stop during the whole show. I was the busiest guy around. And he said, "Oh, come on, man, that's overkill. Let me suffer my string breaks." And so that's how I learned that, sometimes you don't have to work as much or worry as much. It's not ongoing at the moment. I would say for 2 reasons. We had a tour that got cancelled right before the pandemic. The tour was going to happen in April, and it got cancelled. And the pandemic hit in March, early March. So Lee got spooked, in terms of health. A couple of his friends died from COVID. And he's now 67. He's been doing some things, but mostly in terms of avant-garde performing, galleries and the like. So not really your typical rock medium. So as I know it, if he feels like doing it again, I'll get the call, but if I don't, it's fine as well, because I do have a small 6-year-old kid and I like being around. One of the things that I've been trying to do is just trying to get the business running as smoothly as possible. You know, having your own rules and learning to manage your time in a way that allows you to do the work properly, with precision, with care, with love. That's pretty important to me. But in terms of other ventures, I've been flirting with building my own instruments for quite a while, and I've built a few, but I've never integrated them in the business realm of things, because doing repairing, maintenance and restoring musical instruments has a given workflow. Making them from scratch and designing and imagining them is a whole different mindset. There's more freedom, but there's a lot of investment, and you know, doing the crossfade between those two is, for me, it's been a challenge. So that's what I'm working on. So by the time I have my business working and running in a way that pleases me, then I'll probably pay myself a sabbatical, you know, and you know, go offline for a couple of months. But I'll still be here working my ass off, coming up with fine acoustic guitars, hopefully. Yeah. You know, like files and dental, squares and dental appliances and medical stuff and violin stuff. When you know, when they do sometimes appear, some fret files, yeah, smoking papers, always useful. You know, they measure 1/1000 of an inch. It's a good and tight reference. Calipers and protractors and filler gauges and manual drills and really tiny drills, which I love as well. Drill bits. And thermometers and laying out equipment, you know, and hammers for dealing with customers. Yeah. And this is my secretary. This is my most important piece of gear in my shop, which is my loudspeakers for comfort and listening to music. And this is a buffing machine that I bought from shoemaker, and I'm soon gonna adapt it for buffing purposes. And this is the back room, which is a mess. This is all backlog. This is my radial arm saw that was given to me by Andy Manson, very generous guy. I used to have a lathe, which I sold. Need to buy another one, because this is my metal working station with a small milling machine as well. That's Ugo and his CNC machine in the back, making electric guitars. And this is where the hardcore heavy stuff is, but you know, just small and pretty usual woodworking stuff, like a thicknesser, drill press, jointer, combination sander, bandsaw, and that's it. Extraction. That's pretty much it. And this is a granite plate reference, surface reference. For me, it would be calipers and a chisel and a sharpening stone and a saw.